We're visiting Vietnam. We've just landed, and honestly, within 10 minutes, you can already tell this place feels very different from Malaysia. Our grab from the airport, much cheaper than we normally pay in Kuala Lumpur. The coffee, cheaper, stronger, oh, much stronger. And the traffic, it makes Kuala Lumpur feel peaceful. I didn't know this many scooters could exist in one city. But here's the question. We've spent the last year travelling around Malaysia, discovering incredible food, friendly people and places that have completely won us over. So can Vietnam really compete? Over the coming weeks, we're going to test everything. We'll be taking tours, meeting locals, comparing prices and eating as much local food as possible to see whether Vietnam really deserves its reputation as one of Asia's best value destinations. Starting right here in Ho Chi Minh City. Let's get going. We've just jumped into our grab, and the first surprise is the price. This ride into District 1 costs about 150,000 dong. That's roughly 20 Malaysian ringgit. A similar trip from KLIA into the city would be at least 4 times that. So, before we've even reached the hotel, Vietnam already feels very affordable. One thing we love about travelling around Southeast Asia is how easy apps like Grab make everything. No haggling, no worrying about taxis, just book the ride and enjoy watching a brand new city roll past the window. Driving into Ho Chi Minh City is an experience in itself. There are scooters absolutely everywhere, thousands of them. Office workers, food deliveries, families, people carrying flowers, furniture. I think this guy's moving house. It looks completely chaotic, yet everyone seems to know exactly what they're doing. Everything just keeps flowing. Coming from Kuala Lumpur, where traffic is busy but generally follows neat lanes, this feels like a completely different world. And we've no idea yet how to cross the road. We're going to figure that out later when we feel brave. Alright, we've made it into District 1, the centre of Ho Chi Minh City. And straight away you can feel it. It's busy, it's loud, but also kind of exciting. It's packed with cafes, markets and restaurants. There's fresh colonial buildings and modern skyscrapers. Tiny street stalls are squeezed between luxury hotels. There is something happening on every corner. It feels like one of those cities where you can have fun just wandering around. Okay, we had to stop immediately for this. Vietnamese egg coffee. They make you work a bit for it. It's made by whipping egg yolk with sugar and condensed milk into a rich, creamy foam, into which you pour strong Vietnamese coffee. It was apparently invented during a milk shortage decades ago, and somehow it became one of Vietnam's most famous drinks. Wow, I was expecting it to taste eggy, but it doesn't at all. It's rich and creamy, but you can still taste that really strong coffee underneath. So far so good, but let's not jump to conclusions yet. Next, we're going to see what street food here is really like, and whether it actually beats Malaysia. One of the first things we always do in a new place is to try the street food.
Is it good?
And one of the first things we noticed here is that food is everywhere. Small restaurants, people cooking on the pavement, locals sitting outside on plastic stools. That's the sort of eating we enjoy. Simple food, fresh ingredients, and lots of locals. One of Vietnam's most famous dishes is bánh mì. Of course, it's a throwback to the country's French influence. A deliciously crispy baguette, and this one is filled with ham, pâté, pickled vegetables, fresh herbs, cucumber, and chili. And this one is similar, but with grilled chicken. Crunchy, fresh, and yummy. And unbelievably inexpensive. You can grab one for little more than the price of a coffee. We didn't really know what to expect from a Vietnamese breakfast, but when we spotted this little street side stall packed with locals, it seemed like a pretty safe bet. I noticed they had little side tables for keeping the condiments on. Oh, there are the seats. Still, as you can see, I've been working on improving my flexibility. It seemed like we'd made a good choice.
One of the most famous buns I got, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's great.
I like it so far.
We love it. Yeah, we had a really.
We asked to have their most popular dishes. To be honest, I was a bit surprised, but not at all disappointed. It seemed to be a selection of various typical Vietnamese morning fare. Some items were familiar, others not so. The baguettes, with pâté and mayonnaise on the side, were really fresh. These fellows clearly like their chili sauce. This was actually really good. We enjoyed our food just as much as all the regular patrons around us. With the buzz of the morning streets, scooters shooting past, and locals starting their day all around us, we felt completely immersed in everyday life in Vietnam. We were loving it. It was exactly the kind of breakfast experience we'd been hoping for. Now, here's that question again. Does the food here beat Malaysia? Honestly, I don't think that's the right question. Vietnamese food is wonderfully fresh, with lots of herbs, bright flavours, light broths, and crispy baguettes. It's food that hits you with new, unexpected tastes and can be so satisfying. Malaysia, on the other hand, Malaysia is all about richness and variety. Fragrant coconut milk, slow-cooked curries, smoky char kway teow, creamy laksa, nasi lemak, roti canai, clay pot dishes. It's comforting, layered, and wonderfully diverse because of the mix of Malay, Chinese, and Indian influences. Malaysian and Vietnamese food are different experiences rather than competitors. If I want something fresh and vibrant, Vietnam is fantastic. If I'm craving bold spices, rich curries, or a proper kopitiam breakfast, Malaysia is impossible to beat. That's one of the reasons we've fallen so much in love with Malaysia over the past year. Every state has its own specialities, and it still feels like we've barely scratched the surface. One more thing we're noticing already is the pace of life. People seem to spend so much time outside, eating together, drinking coffee, talking, watching the world go by,
And trying to get the best out of life.
It's something we also love about Malaysia. Most of our favourite memories aren't from expensive places at all. They're sitting on little plastic stalls at street-side kopitiams, sharing local food and simply soaking up everyday life. Vietnam has exactly that same feeling. So, after our first day, Vietnam has definitely impressed us. It's affordable, It's energetic, the coffee is excellent, the street food has been fantastic, and Ho Chi Minh City has a real buzz about it. But will Vietnam replace Malaysia as our favourite country? Well, probably not. But what it has done is remind us why we love travelling through Southeast Asia. Every country has its own character, its own flavours, its own rhythm. And that's what makes these journeys so rewarding. Over the next few videos, we'll be taking you to more of our favourite places in both Malaysia and Vietnam. Trying more incredible local food, exploring different cities, comparing experiences and prices, and finding out whether Vietnam really is one of the best value destinations in Asia. If you'd like to come along for the journey, we'd love to have you with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.